The media is here. All of you have been asking, Namboole, I can guarantee you, Namboole will be ready by 31st December 2026. I can quote on that. This national army is not a simple one. Me and you, wananchis, have where we can go when you fail. But for them, they have only one command and control. And there is a different place where they take them. So, Kano Chidemuka, Lieutenant Kano Chidemuka and Kano Afane here, I visited Namboole, I think, to the entire local organizing committee. And to be honest, what is happening there is a total transformation of a new stadium. And I know Ugandans will be surprised when Namboole is completed. You will not even think it's the UPDF which has done that work, but they are here. It is always difficult to be a guest of honor. I knew when I was coming that I would have only come now to do the cutting and handing over the facility to the what? To the contractor. But now, I have a few comments to make. First, I want to thank Honorable Moses Magogo and the entire FUFAT community for coming up with AFCON 2027 project. Let's clap for them. Because I know it's you who came up with the idea. You approached government, we came in full, and here I want to thank His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, who first understood the concept and immediately guided that government gives guarantees for us to host AFCON 2027, and I think it deserves the hand clap for that. Like most of you might be aware, we've been in this journey together. And I want to commend all stakeholders who have participated in ensuring we reach where we are today. It is only a fool who might not be able to see the benefits of this project. But for those who understand sport, if there's any project in this country where government has put in an investment of almost 3 trillion shillings, is this project. And as a minister responsible for sports, I want in a special way to thank my mother, the First Lady, and the Minister of Education and Sports. Let's clap for her. She has been guiding us on how we should proceed in as far as this project is concerned. And where we are today and tomorrow, I want to assure the people of Uganda that AFCON 2027 will take place in Uganda, United Republic of Tanzania, and Kenya come June next year. No wonder we are here to witness yet another opportunity of handing over a training facility. In all these works, I expect the contractor to work in line with the CAF standards. I repeat, the contractor, as you do your work, you must be cognizant of the fact that there are standards which are set out for this pitch to qualify to become a training facility. Now, to us stakeholders, what is our role? Is to support in whatever way you can. And in my considered opinion, number one is to begin to join me in awareness creation. Because there are those even up to now, they don't believe that AFCON will take place here in Uganda. But I'm sure it's not Ronnie Kalema. Why I'm saying that it's not Ronnie Kalema is because I didn't know that even today is a big person in the same project I'm handing over in a different capacity. The other one which I want specifically, maybe let me first welcome the Undersecretary from the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs. You're most welcome, sir. I know how much we disturb you. You are the one who takes all my pressure. You know, even me, when they put pressure on me, I end up by going to the contractor, and the first line contact is you. First, on the side of the contractor, I am so far impressed with the work they're doing. Let's clap for the UPDF Engineers Brigade. Some time back, you must have seen my video. I confirm that's not an AI. It's a true video from me. When I was firmly pushing the contractor that we have to make Namboole complete. The media is here. All of you have been asking, Namboole, Namboole. I can guarantee you, Namboole will be ready by 31st December 2026. I can quote on that. This national army is not a simple one. Me and you, wananchis, have where we can go when you fail. But for them, they have only one command and control. And there is a different place where they take them. So, Kano Chidemuka, Kano, Lieutenant Kano Chidemuka and Kano Afane here, I visited Namboole, I think, to the entire local organizing committee. And to be honest, what is happening there is a total transformation of a new stadium. And I know Ugandans will be surprised when Namboole is completed. You will not even think it's the UPDF which has done that work, but they are here. So, this speech, why are we asking for 6 months, Mr. Chairman? If they can venture for Namboole within a few months, Under Secretary, this one you'd have just told me, give me 3 months, and you hand over me the facility. Why 6 months? Fortunately here, we are dealing with the pitch. And if we go into a method of work of 24 hours, really, I know these are just peanuts for you now. With the experience you've gotten, these are now peanuts. Now to answer the few things which engineers say, fast forward. The question of infrastructure in different parts of the country in line with what you've proposed, I confirm this to the country. Our dear Minister of Education and Sports did have a meeting with the then Minister of Finance and the current PSST, and guided that a budget for sports infrastructure be maintained in the budget. And I want to confirm to you and the country that those facilities you've mentioned are a priority in the planning of National Council of Sports and government in ensuring we put on the best facility which can be able to accommodate all your demands as far as football is concerned. Where I need your help is on the question of land ownership. Me and you know that Mbarara Kacheka, you know what happened. We earmarked money to kickstart that project. What was the problem? Struggles of where does the land belong? Is it the city or it is the district? And it failed us. Am I lying this? Money had to return back to the consolidated fund. That Mbarara of today would be in a different part, would be too far in as far as that city is concerned. Number 2, Bugembe. Bugembe is still under the ownership of the Busoga Kingdom. I want to ask you to begin having engagement with me, with the Busoga Kingdom, so that we begin to go together, plan together, and to reassure the stakeholders of Busoga that government is interested in putting up that facility to another level. It might not be the level of Chambogo, of Fufakadiva, of maybe what, but at least it will be at a level which can be able to allow football and other games to take place within that. At least the basics, what we expect to be here, or better than here. Like now, another debate which we must engage. Do we go grass? Do we go artificial? You are the experts of football. We will work according to what you guide us. Go to Mbale. I want also to confirm that the Church of Uganda, which I think, I am being a bit selfish here because I think I'm one of them. The Church of Uganda, Mbale Diocese, has earmarked 100 acres of land from Namboole High School. And they have written to me. They are ready to hand over that land free of charge for purposes of entitling it in the name of National Council of Sports. For government to begin planning to put up a serious facility in that part of the region. The land in Mbale municipality of Mbale city, as far as I'm concerned, is now 7 acres. I want to ask our stakeholders to get together. West Nile, We have a pledge of Dockers in Zikuru Stadium, which is still standing in that part of the world. And I want to say country who will do it. The other issue which I want to say here is entirely thank our consultant. Of course, many did not want you to be a consultant. I stood for you. And I'm happy you've learned a lot out of this experience in these works of pitch or stadium constructions. I want to ask you again, can we get recommitted to ensure we get to the last lap of our works? Because this 1 year left is very critical in terms of our completion. And I want to thank my brother, the Minister of Works, and General Katumba Wamala, who worked closely with us for the good work he did till handover. And I now want to thank my brother, Biamukama, for the good work he's doing to steer the ministry going forward. The area of Kampala, like you've clearly said, is one of the passionate areas I want us to concentrate on the legacy project. I have received a communication from Uganda Kingdom, and as far as Mutesa 2 Stadium is concerned, they feel we need to do something again, particularly on the area of the pitch, to make it a better standard, and then the stands on the other side. Formally, they have requested me that we must see what to do. But I also want to appreciate and say, we did construct, what did we do in Mutesa 2? We put floodlights, changing rooms, an irrigation system, a simple one around the stadium. So I want to assure our stakeholders who are coming. Then the other pitches which are within the Kampala metropolitan area is one we will work jointly with the KCCA. My thinking is that schools still have land under the KCCA area, and if there are those specific areas where those pitches can be put, I feel it should be part of our legacy project for AFCON, so that we support more Hakim Magumbas to come up from this part of the city, the Majid Musisi. Lira and Akibwa, I want to say the Lira cluster is covered, and Gulu, we are now working on the final lap to ensure that that facility is ready. Last but not least is again to reiterate the government's commitment in supporting sports, and of course in promoting sports, entertainment and tourism. That's now an area where we are going to go. Before, the Honorable Magogos and others used to talk about what sports can bring to the country and to the economy. But nowadays, Honorable Magogo, it's no longer you. You talked a lot. Fortunately, the idea has been now bold. We are now putting, you can now imagine, it's not, by the way, from my perspective, government is no longer lacking money. The question now is, how organized are we to tap the opportunities available in the sports sector? Donate 3.7 billion to support a marathon. Before, where would you get that money? That's why now you see we have now come up to support the private sector in putting up such facilities. Where would that come out from? But now the whole government is re-energized, is realigned, because we all know that sports is no longer for leisure. Sports is now one which can bring in money, it can create jobs, it can create a lot of opportunities, it can boost our revenues. That is the talking where we are, and I want to say this, we are now on the round table. So it's my appeal to the stakeholders, particularly the Federation President, which have directed Chairman National Council of Sports, I want us to have a meeting. We now begin to plan in each of your federations, what activities can we foresee which can bring in revenues to the country? That's the table, the debate now which we want. No longer crying for money. So with those many words, I commend FUFA, and I want to say, Kadiba, here we come. To the committee, Mr. President, you've asked me that one, we shall cause a meeting. You've said there's a need for you to have an expansion of land, to have a natural pitch versus artificial pitch. That's a meeting we can now discuss and see how we can again work closely to ensure too, because it will be bad There are also games which in my considered opinion don't deserve to be played in Namboole. But they are CAF games, which can still be here. But there are also those which I want to say they can be in Namboole, which are bigger. So for us to have 5.6 billion, 5.1 injected here, of course I know the operational costs are going to be high. But this UPDF is frugal. To sort out one of the biggest challenges of the operational costs is a question of water. I don't know whether that was under our budget. Afande Chidemuka.
No, it's already there.
So if you have a source here, I would really employ UPDF and Afande, not Afande, Under Secretary, my brother Ngabirano. These battles you fought them, because I'm already beginning to look at one operational cost here. That one of water. Because if you can have that managed, then, which I'm very sure, by the if you need water, there's water here. You don't need water here, there's water here. So that engineering of yours, Kano, do me a favor, do that engineering. Once you have that covered, so that we reduce on the operational costs, that gives a federation to have that leverage. Unlike other facilities which will put them in universities easy to manage. So with those many words, what is my next thing? Let me now say I thank you for...
Honourable Minister, I want to appeal to you that this is the home of football. We believe that this facility should be used to generate very many more younger players, because in addition to being a stadium, our dream is to add another pitch to support the grass, because the grass you're going to put here is very delicate grass. It's not grass you can use every day. So we have two options. We either get more land and get another pitch, probably an artificial surface, to take away the load so that we can maintain the grass. Or after AFCON, we have to remove the grass and put an artificial surface, because the volume of football played on this pitch cannot be supported by that high maintenance costone grass. That's the dilemma we have, but I'm sure at the right moment you'll invite us and we have a proper discussion and way forward. We don't want to put to waste what is going to be put here, but the challenge is that we can also not maintain it.
Sure, the gathering is that the funds that has been planned for the last financial year and this financial year are available, and before the end of this week, UPDF will have all the money to ensure the project takes off at once. It's our expectation that this facility will add value beyond AFCON. Personally, have been part of the team who took the decision to acquire here when I was a member of the executive committee of FUFA. And I want to thank the President, Engineer Magogo, at the time for the vision and the network. Once a footballer, you remain one. It cannot be removed from you.